In this episode, this is part 2 of my wonderful discussion with Andi McCormack, who's my former bandmate from I-5. Tune in and let's laugh a little together. Reinvention's not cute. Whoever said that is crazy. They're nuts, okay? Because it's chaotic, it's uncomfortable, but it also is kind of liberating, if I'm being honest, which that's what we do here. I'm Christina Rumbly. I'm a serial reinventionist, and I have done everything you can imagine, all the way from being a pop star to becoming a professional songwriter. From that, business entrepreneur, leading 250 employees, then selling my companies to where I am today. This is Reinventing Rumbly, and that's what we do here. But we're inappropriately appropriate, of course. So now it's time to reinvent. So let's get to it. Welcome back, everybody. And I'm so glad that you're tuning in to watch the second part of me having a great conversation with my former bandmate from I-5, Andi McCormack. It was so much fun that we had to continue it. So this is part 2 of So You Say You Want to Be a Pop Star. So, Andi, when we all had that happen and we ended and it was like everyone's going on their own path, what did you do to reinvent yourself
Yeah.
to start your dance studio and your business and your company that you've
Yeah.
been successful in and grown? How did you come about that?
I think for me, I had to isolate. I had to be okay emotionally. We used to knit. Remember, we did that in the
Mhm.
transition. I had a span of 3 months where I was super creative. I was lost, but I was super creative. So I immersed myself into the background of what I had trained in. I went back, I started to teach dance at Millennium. And that was because we'd made a connection through I-5 with Millennium. I I wrote poetry. I can't write, but I wrote poetry. I submerged myself into this 3 month period of writing and creativity. And, I had prepared. I mean, I also had to make a deal with myself that was, um, I accepted the fact that I had had a great career. I was a lucky dancer, basically. I had to mentally make an adjustment and address the fact that I was happy with the point I'd reached in my career, right? I had been a dancer. I was a dancer that got a record deal. We toured with Britney Spears. We had a TV show, all this wonderful stuff. And I kind of had to recognize, take a minute and say, okay, I accept it. I was a lucky dancer. We had a great experience, but it's not going to go any further. Now you can open your studio. And I had been qualified to teach dance since 92, because in England you have to take exams. And I had always wanted a dance school, so I knew my dream was about to happen. It was just, how am I going to get there? Um, and I remember you were instrumental, you and Doug, your husband. Your husband created the most beautiful architecture for my first dance studio. And, it was Penny Lane. And I remember sitting there and I didn't know what the name of the studio was going to be. And we were like, the Beatles. I'm from Liverpool. Liverpool's a really important part of who I am, who my family is, what my upbringing is. If you're from Liverpool, there's just something in the soul. It's kind of like New York. There's a beat, there's an energy to the way we breathe, the way we move, the way we communicate, the way we family. Um, and so I knew it was going to be something to do with the Beatles, and we came up with the name Penny Lane Dance Academy, and I was ready. I'd done the education. I knew what I wanted. I'd been to school for this. I knew I was prepared, and I opened my first studio in Studio City, probably 2001 maybe. Um, and I was shut down because of a zoning issue. And again, this is something that working with those 5 girls in I-5 had taught me, this tremendous sense of resilience and this idea that I nobody was ever going to stop me from having my dream. And my second dream, the other dream, was I was going to own dance studios. And so I fought and I found a way around that. Even though LA City Council tried to shut me down, I went and rented space from an Arthur Murray. And that might have been like we put the last nail in on I don't know, Friday afternoon, the city shut me down. And by Monday morning, I was open around the corner renting space by the hour because I'm a hustler. I'm an artist. Artists hustle. We have to fight. We're scrappy. We've
Mm-hmm.
learned rejection and we've learned that, to be a female and survive, you have to be scrappy and you have to stay on course. And that means you have to be like friggin' Rocky Balboa. It's not about like um, for me, it's always, you knock me down. How hard am I going to come back? And as a female, that's really been the significant thread throughout my whole career is that I have tremendous resilience. Yeah, so that's it. I opened a dance studio. The odds were against me, but I was making profit. By Monday morning, I was making a profit. And, I built everything with my own hands. Doug helped me construct the structure, but we lost it. We lost any money I'd made from the record deal. We lost in that first building that I made, which I know you guys went through loss. You take risks in business and you lose, but it's about the rebound. The rebound is everything. And I teach that to my girls. I teach that to my students. Your rebound, the comeback is everything. Girls are mean to you at school. They tear you apart, but you get up every single day, you curl your hair, you wear your cute clothes, you walk into school with your head high. Your rebound is everything. Resilience is everything.
I love
Yeah,
that.
so I guess that's my story, and now I have two dance studios, one in Chappaqua, New York, and one in Mayapack, and I've taken significant um, hits in the industry, which led me to open my other business, which is called the Studio Doctor. So I coach other studio owners and dance teachers. I help them streamline operations. I am exceedingly good at pivoting and finding a solution to a problem because I feel like I've had the crap knocked out of me. People say LA is tough and London, but honest to goodness, New York has been the toughest place for me personally to do business. People have stolen from me. A family member opened a studio with me and then stole all my clients, knows nothing about dance, and continues to be a competitor of mine. So I've had to learn to pivot. And yeah, so that was why the Studio Doctor became my other business that I do, the coaching, is because I turned something shitty into something great. The fact that I can think of solutions. I think you're wired the same way I am. We come from that school of solution based movement and moving forward. I think that for me, you just got to keep pushing. I mean, I can't wait until I retire, but I'm not ready just yet. What am I, 52? I don't
I
know. I
think
forget
so.
my age. I feel like a kid. I don't know. I mean, menopause is kicking my ass, but I do
That's another
feel,
whole show we'll talk
yeah,
about.
that's a, but I'm not done. I'm not washed up. I'm not done. I haven't reached all of my goals yet. I am massively optimistic about my future, and I've got two wonderful girls and a lovely husband that I have to provide for too. But I'm not done. I'm not
No,
done.
you're not done yet, you
Not done
bastard.
yet, you bastards.
No, and you're gritty. You got that grit, that scrap like you were talking about. And
Yeah.
I think it's why you're successful and why you continue to inspire these young beautiful minds, that I mean, you literally are you're fairy dust, you're Tinkerbell to them. I've watched people
Oh.
don't may not know this, but Andy is literally the living, breathing Tinkerbell and
I'm
fairy
Mary
godmother.
Poppins.
You're Mary
Although in
Poppins.
my older age, I'm a bit more Nanny McPhee, but yeah.
Are you? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you've got this thing, like there's a magic dust to you. You sprinkle it on people and it
Oh,
makes them feel better. And I think that's
thank
why
you.
you have wonderful friendships and relationships and even business partnerships like me, because we were in a business together
Hmm.
and became very close friends through that and stayed close.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I think that for me has been such a pivotal part of our relationship and you've always been such an encouraging friend too. You're a ball buster. You're like don't get down, because you saw me go through, the past several months of just feeling like, what's my purpose?
A little
Where's
bit
my
lost. Yeah.
lost? Absolutely. And there's nothing like, for people that are watching, when you have that friend, or if you're blessed to have enough, more than one, um, that calls you because their heart and their head is like, I think she needs to hear
Yeah.
a friendly voice right now. And you did
You
that for
know,
me.
you well, you're welcome. It's just us. It's just the fabric of who we are. But because I'm objective and I'm on the outside, I think that when you lose what we think is our identity, we put so much pressure on ourselves and we embody the role. It's almost like we're acting the CEO because that's our theatrical background, right?
Yeah.
And I think when someone kicks the rug from underneath you, there, it's natural to search and scurry and contemplate, well, what am I supposed to represent now? But I've always seen who you are. You know, nobody could take that away from you. They could take a job title, those three initials away from you, but you are you. You created those positions, you created those companies, those jobs for all of those other employees. You know, they can't take that away from you. And sometimes it's just a minor shift. It's just a minor, you have to go down, and we talk about this in dance too. You have to go down to come up.
Mm.
It's your grand batmans are not going to get higher if you don't put pressure into the ground to rebound up. So you know, and when you're in it, you can't see that, but a
Mhm.
friend could see that, or somebody on the outsides. But you've always been you, girl. You've always been a go-getter. You've always been um, had your eye on the prize, and you have an eye for detail. You have an eye for quality, and you can't really always teach somebody what good looks like. Do you know what I mean? You either have that or you don't.
Yeah.
And I've
You're
always
like
felt,
that too. You have that
yeah,
too. You know when something's on and when it's off,
yeah,
like when point or not, you know?
yeah, yeah. And so much of that is, it's growing up. It's being a professional. It's all those years of you singing and taking your lessons, your acting lessons, and auditions and rejection and all of those things. You learned how to prepare for things properly. You learned how to act on the fly, and you learned how to rebound from rejection. It's, you know, I mean,
That's
my other,
great that you're talking about that. That's exactly what the show started with. It was the 3 R's, right?
oh,
It started with rejection, reflection, and reinvention, and that's
oh,
the
look at that.
3. Yeah. How you didn't even know that. That's
I did not
awesome. But
even know that.
think about it though, that's
Uncanny.
our life story. It's
Yeah,
rejection forces us into reflection, and then the reinvention comes out of
yeah,
that. If you're going to be successful in it, and that doesn't always mean financial, it can be emotional,
right.
all of the good stuff.
Financial would be really nice though.
Financial is always good. I'd
Yeah,
like a little financial non-rejection, okay? I'd like
yeah,
reinvention financially. Well, you know
yeah.
what's great is we do have some questions here. It's time for a segment that we call Rumbly's Rapid Fire. I'm going to ask you some questions on my beautiful cards here. And they're going to be questions that you can answer. And we're going to just rapid fire them right now. Get ready. Here we go. What's one thing about being in a pop group that people think is glamorous, but actually sucked?
Oh, the most unglamorous thing for me was the tour bus. Like you, this is gross, but you can't poop in the tour bus, and
Or
I
you
wouldn't do
can,
that.
just don't tell
Ooh,
anyone.
yeah. Oh no, I never did that. And so you would deal with like a lot of stomach issues. A lot. That's gross and boring. But that was the very unglamorous side of being on a tour bus. I mean, you'd go out, we'd hang out with NSYNC. Meanwhile, you'd be like, oh my God, I need to shower, I need to go to the bathroom, you'd be gross. Like I remember craving broccoli, like, when you're
On
on
the
the
road,
road,
yeah.
there's nowhere nice to eat. There was nowhere healthy back in the 2000s. I'm sure it's different now, but I
Well,
remember,
Andy would love this story.
craving.
So Andy and I would watch Dumb and Dumber
Oh
every
my
night on the back of the tour bus, and we would stop off at
God. We, we
who's watching this? Hold on.
We know every line of that movie.
Of course we do.
Our
Our
pets.
pets' heads are falling off. Because We were in our full-blown makeup gear. Like, we looked trans before trans was cool, okay? Because I had sequences, I wore a bandana, I had glued on sequins, I bedazzled. I mean, I looked like Bret Michael. Everybody thought I was a guy. And Andy
You were
is 5'2",
gorgeous.
Liverpudlian with her little ass, and she would be like this cheeky, and she had
And I had
dreadlocks,
huge dreadlocks, blue and white
blue
dreadlocks,
and
right?
white blonde hair, and oh my gosh, we would
They were
stop off at
nasty.
truck stops to either quickly shower or buy. I would get vanilla Haagen-Dazs ice cream and Cheetos, and I don't
Oh,
remember what you would get because you didn't eat that kind of food, but
no, I'm a sucker for a Twix.
oh, that's right, you and your Twix bars. And then we
Yeah,
would like we would if we got lucky enough to stay in a hotel, because we always had to stay on the tour bus.
yeah.
If we got to stay in a hotel, Andy and I would stay up all night long and laugh hysterically. We'd watch Dumb and Dumber, whether it was on the bus or on TV, and we would order room service.
Are we
First of all,
allowed to say what we used to do?
oh, I don't care. We would
I don't
smoke
care
the
either. We
hell
would
out of pot.
smoke. We
Oh,
would get so
we would
high.
get higher, and this is skunk weed. This is before it was legal. Like,
Yeah.
remember we got pulled over. The bus
Oh, I
gets
don't
pulled over in
remember. I
South
was probably too
Carolina,
high
and
to remember.
we were freaking out. Like, hide it, hide it. We're like
Oh my God.
shoving it down, trying to shove it, and the cops just want to know who we were.
Oh my God. I don't even remember. I
We were
But I
freaking
do
out.
remember like we did used to get pretty chonged up. Like you and I would laugh to just cope with the trauma of the other girls. But yeah, we would
Totally.
have a good time. Yeah.
You know, it was great. I have a video of
Oh
us, and
no.
this was an awesome video. No, no, not of that, but we did have some good ones, laughing hysterically because Andy would always become super English when she would smoke, and she would get uber like proper and pompous with her English accent. So she would call down, and we're like at a Motel
No, I
6,
used to
people.
do it to
That's
make you
so good.
laugh. I would
Of
put
course
on
you did.
characters.
Of
Like,
course, it was a
yeah,
character,
it's a
but
character. It's a
you
character.
did it very, very well. So she would
Janet.
call the front desk, and she would go, "Yes, this is room 413. I can't do it well,
We
but
just
she
make
would
up
go,
shit. We would
make up
make
shit.
up nonsense and think
She'd
it
say,
was
"I need
funny.
more towels. They're extra scratchy." Or she'd say, "This is preposterous."
Oh, we were terrible. Do you remember when the time when we were so high, we were trying to order food, but every time we looked at each other, we would laugh and we couldn't get the words out. And we were trying to order food and we
She
would
was trying to
say,
order chicken wings. She was trying to order
just trying to
chicken
order
wings
chicken wings, and we
at the New
couldn't get
Yorker
the
in
words
New
out.
York. She couldn't order them. She kept going, "Yes, I would love to have, if I may, if you could be so kind." And I'm just like, "Spit it out." And she's like, "The wings, but if we could get the wings." And every time she said wings, I would like pee in my pants. I would start
It was
laughing.
it was a riot. We had a riot. We had a
We had
great
a
time.
great time. We did. We
Yeah.
did. That is, I do remember it did, yeah, the tour bus. But one thing in particular that was fascinating was when I got to remove Andy's dreadlocks.
Oh,
Because her hair was so tight, it was weaved in and it was bothering her. You understand, the way we cleaned her dreadlocks was we
oh.
sprayed Febreze in her scalp to try to mask the scent
Oh.
of the sweaty dreads.
That's probably the dirty secret of touring.
Oh, yeah. Oh, one of them.
Yeah,
That
touring is
and no
not
one doing
glamorous
their no one
on a
cleaning
bus.
their underwear and laundry because where would we get it done? And Andy, I just remember I have a picture or video of me trying to get these dreads out, and you didn't see this, but the camera, Tal's filming me, and I go like this. And because there's mold on the dread, and I hand it to Tal, and I was like,
Oh my God.
but
Could
we
you
had to put them
imagine
back
letting
in
your
her head.
daughter do this now, though? Like the stuff we
Never.
did.
Never.
Terrible.
Are you kidding? No, it would not
Yeah.
happen.
No, dirty
Okay, so
secrets
this is a
of
good one.
touring, but we just told
All right.
everybody. All right, go on,
We
what
did.
else?
So now they know. So she had mold in her head that I had to
Hmm.
deal with firsthand. It was great. It was great. Um, okay. What was your first holy shit, we're famous moment?
Um, okay, we were on tour with LFO, and it was one of our first performances, and it was that feeling. We had our vocal coach, Doc Holliday, with us. He
Oh,
worked with En Vogue, and he worked with Britney too, but she used to
yeah.
mime.
Which is shocking. We're like,
Yeah,
did she sing?
we
And
did.
she sang
Yeah,
okay.
I yeah. Um, and he's like rubbing this Albus oil or whatever on us, and we had our headsets, our Britney Spears, like what were those microphones called? Our
Crown 5
Crown
headsets, and we
11s or
had our
something, yeah.
in-ear monitors.
And
Yeah.
Fatima had choreographed us, and I reblocked it and re-choreographed it all because I don't like it. And then we're out there on stage, and it was in this beautiful old theater. I don't think it was the House of Blues. I feel like we were in like St. Louis or somewhere like that, and this beautiful theater, this gorgeous theater, and the lights came up, and kids were singing our song. And that's
Mm.
the moment that I felt like a rock star. I was like,
Oh,
holy shit, we've made it. This is it. They're singing our lyrics. And then the kids clamoring to get our autographs, that was mad. I mean, that fulfilled for me. I think that that's when I was like, okay, we've made it. Yeah,
I
you know.
remember that. I remember that moment. I remember when we would get on the tour bus after performing, and especially if it was in an arena. Like, when we got
Yeah,
in sync in Brittany, it was
that was
like,
big.
"We've arrived." Like, "We've
Yeah,
had it. We're here." The hardest
yeah,
part for us was that we weren't really getting merchandise sent out. There wasn't marketing materials, so we were so frustrated because no one knew who the hell we were. They just knew they liked us, or they did know us because we were on the radio that day. We just
yeah.
were trying to
But no
hustle
banner.
so hard.
Remember, we couldn't even get a banner with our name on it from the
Yeah,
record label. It
we
was
would get so
it felt like
frustrated.
five girls fighting against the world. We had the goods, we had the fans, we had the songs.
Yep.
We were out there, we secured an extra 2 weeks or whatever it was within sync. We did our part. We did
Yeah.
our job. The fat cats at the record label were not doing their job.
That's right. We
They
got a Nicole, we got Hello Kitty, we got Mac and Tony
Endorsement
Guy.
deals, that's right.
We got
Endorsement
our tour
deals, yeah.
bus basically for free by Hello Kitty. We got
We did
Nicole
that.
nail polish, OPI.
We
Yeah,
did that.
we did that.
The
And
five
that was
girls. Actually, you and I probably did that.
yeah,
And
I think
Tao,
Cal
Tao.
helped with
Yeah,
OPI because
she did.
she's Jewish and she was Israeli and was able to talk to the owner with her Israeli
I
Hebrew
think they were
accent.
friends of hers as well.
I
But you
think so.
remember we did the photo shoot for OPI, and that is also growing up. I have quite nice nails, you can't see right now, but that was something I was like, one day I'm going to do, and I'm going to model my nails, and it happened in I-5.
It
Like,
did. That was I remember that was big for you, and for me, it was makeup. I was a
oh yeah.
big Gabby was the
And then
makeup
you
artist queen.
created your own skincare line. I mean, you were always obsessed with beauty and makeup
Yeah,
and products, and
always, always, and it's crazy when we
you
look
were
back on
Sephora
things like
before
that.
Sephora.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
Ulta before Ulta had an
yeah,
opportunity, and now
uh-huh,
look at Ulta and
yeah,
Sephora. Maybe I missed the
yeah,
boat on that one. Okay, so here we go.
yeah.
Was there a moment post band where you thought, "Now what? How do you deal with that silence?"
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got a really funny, embarrassing one. So, owning a dance studio is not always glamorous. You know, uh, it's hard work, it's very rewarding, and I have over the years reached a certain echelon or level where I'm not doing daily operations as much. Um, but we were outperforming, and I had this big teddy bear head. I was like, oh yeah, let's have Penny Lane would be really cute if it had this, teddy bear, what do you call that? Mascot.
Mascot? Yeah.
Yeah. So I taught the kids, they'd learned this Christmas choreography, and we're out there and we're doing a show. It's called Kids for Kids. It's a really great competition. It's charity based, and all the kids bring a toy, and it's for top what's that? Tots, toys,
Oh,
toys for
toys for tots.
that's it.
Yeah.
So, it's really great. All these dance studios are contributing checks and money, and it's really great, really great. So the kid that's, in this mascot thing suddenly says, I don't feel good. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm the only other one who knows the choreography. So I jump in, being the professional I am. I put the big teddy bear mask on. It's massive. I can barely see out of the eyes. It's like scratching and digging in. And I'm doing the choreography, and I can actually see, and I'm breathing like
Of course, your own
I
breath.
can I can hear my breathing in my face, and it's just oh, it's so uncomfortable. And I looking in the audience, and I can see people going, what is this? Like, and actively in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, 10 years ago, I was on the road with InSync, and here I am on this flippin' stage, and I've got people going, what is that? And it felt so humbling and humiliating at the same time. It was gut wrenching. It was horrible. I just had to remind myself, this is for charity. This is for charity. Do it for the kids, you know. But yeah,
Do it for the kids.
that was a little bit gut wrenching. And again, it was probably my ego. You know what I mean? Sometimes you have to put your ego in check, right? You know. Um,
Always. Yeah.
yeah, but that was soul destroying. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I've
moment.
had a couple mascot outfits myself back in the
Have
day
you?
where it was not post I-5, it was pre, and I
Yeah,
remember
well,
thinking the same thing of, "What the hell am I doing?" is what I
yeah,
kept thinking to myself.
yeah, yeah. Had
Okay,
to
so
put my
let's
ego
see.
in check.
What song of ours would you actually still sing at karaoke?
Oh God. Um, Lottie Dee, Lottie Da.
Oh, yeah, you love that
I
one because
love
it's
that one
cheeky.
because it was Jagger, and I did get a little bit of a solo in that
Yeah,
one.
you did.
Do you know which song is so, well, oh, gosh, there was a song that we didn't release that was gorgeous. I mean, I can't sing it. You were
I
the
just
lead
wanted you to
vocalist.
know.
Oh my God, Christina, you have to play that for the
In
audience.
case I haven't told you so, I just wanted you to know.
That was incredible harmonies. Derek
Yeah.
Bramble produced it, right? You know, in years later, you know, start to respect the artist a bit more and with maturity, but the harmonies, the discords, the arrangement, the musical arrangement, your vocals on that track, I could never do that one justice, but that I think like the world should hear that song.
Me
That song for
too.
sure. Yeah,
It's when I heard it after so many years, I was like, "Damn,
we were
I
good.
sang my butt off on that
Yeah.
song." And I remember it was 12 and a half hours of singing
Yeah,
straight.
it was torture for you.
I
Yeah.
couldn't speak, like, for 3
Yeah.
days afterwards,
He
and he
was
said,
he
"I'm gonna
he
get
was
you."
a grueling producer. I mean, he worked you to the bone, but wow, the results he got from you. I mean,
It really was.
you know, I know your register don't prefer to go so soprano, but he had you up there, you know, and
Did. And doing
he
16
did.
multiple different tracks on multiple harmonies, and I remember being like, "I don't know if I can do it again." He's like, "One more," and I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
I
that's
felt that
grueling.
way
Yeah.
a lot. You know, I lost my voice all the time
Yeah, that
on the
was
road. I couldn't
scary.
party. I had to, like, always, like, be dry
Reserve.
talking. Yeah,
I
preserve it.
mean, we'd have been, well, we could have done the Britney Spears thing. We could have gone to track, but remember we were adamant that we would
Yeah,
never lip sync. We would
I never
always,
have. Even when I was sick in Orlando, my
yeah,
hometown, and we were opening and we were at the Disney, downtown Disney, and remember we're performing and I literally threw up before I got on the stage, performed, and then came off stage and threw up, and I remember being like, "No matter what, we'll always sing. No
yeah.
matter what.
And
If I
even
can't hit
tell
the
like
note."
then she found out her father, her Abba, passed away,
Yeah.
and the manager said to us, "Do you want to cancel?" And we said no. Well,
Nope.
she said no, and then we said, why don't we go to click track and we won't sing in case you cry? And she said, nope. I want the audience to hear me. If I cry, I cry.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment. Like, she really Tao holds it down, and she still is
Yeah,
like
she's a
that.
professional. Yeah,
She is. She is.
she's an artist, you know.
Okay, so who had the worst tour bus habits?
Oh, God, those others, not us. I mean,
No.
honestly, I think we had a dodgy makeup artist.
Yeah, we had
Um,
one of those, yeah. But
she
I
was
think
dodgy.
Gabby was probably the worst because she was
Yeah.
so messy. We called her boyfriends at the time laundry detergent names. Like, she had a boyfriend who was lovely, but I called him like Tide, and then she had someone else, and I called him like Febreze too. Like, I don't know, because they would
Yeah,
just do
she
her
wouldn't wash
laundry.
her clothes. Like, no,
No.
you and I were like little mommies. We would do our laundry. We would
Yeah.
tidy up after ourselves. We never went into each other's spaces. I
Right.
would put a towel on the floor for you in the bathroom so your feet didn't get wet.
Yeah.
You would walk into their hotel room or their area of wherever, and
Fucking
it was like
train wreck.
Beirut. Yeah, nasty. They were
Beirut.
nasty. The other girls were just, I love them to bits, but they were nasty.
Yeah, there was some cleanliness things that we dealt with.
Issues. Yeah.
Remember, I just remember the mounds of makeup that we had, and we would just use baby wipes to get them off our face, and we didn't even because you can't. What are you gonna do? Where are you washing your face?
Mm.
There's no shower on our bus, by the way.
Hmm.
We would have to go and shower where
Truck
the
stops.
bus driver
Yeah.
would go and beg the bus driver to hopefully leave the room or maybe just close your eyes while we're getting
Hmm.
out of the shower. I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Do you remember we had to have the bus driver? We were like, we have to change. Can you please turn around?
I, I,
And
I
he's like,
mean, what we must
sure.
have, back in the 90s, the Me Too movement hadn't really kicked off yet. What we had
None.
to
Yeah.
put up with really is quite preposterous. It's quite preposterous. Little
It's very
callback. See, I did that
preposterous.
callback.
There it was, Miss Poppins.
Preposterous.
What was the weirdest fan encounter? Do you have a weird
Yep.
fan encounter?
Yep. We
Oh, we had
had
a few.
we
We had
had
a couple that
something
would follow us
strange where we
around.
had to change our name when we checked in the hotel. We'd never had that before. And
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
sort of like these boys. But they weren't cute boys because we would have eaten that up. Um, it was what we you and I would have done is we would have told Tal and Gabby to
Tell Gabby, you guys
go
go hook up.
flirt. You guys deal with that. We'll check in. But I remember being scared because we had to change our names. Like I feel like we had a tour manager with us at the time, and we oh, I know what it was. These boy fans, and again, not cute. They were just like tippy toe walkers and quite unusual and scary, bordering on the line of a little obsessive and scary. And
Yeah,
they showed up at the hotel before we got there. How did they know where we were
yeah.
going
Because
next?
this is not social media days. Yeah,
No, no. And it was a very like our tour schedule was not shared publicly with anybody.
right.
How did they know where we were going next? And they showed up at the hotel before us and we were freaked out by it. Do you remember
I
that?
remember that. I do. And I remember that we were always so friendly to every
Yeah.
fan. It was almost
Pick
like our
me.
managers. Our managers were like, "All right, you guys got to wrap it up." And we're like, "Not until every autograph is
Yeah.
signed," because we knew. And I said this on one of the episodes that I did earlier about our group
Hmm.
is I you and I specifically, I feel, and Tal probably too. We knew we were on borrowed time with this.
Mm.
That this was a moment in time, and we had to
Well, you don't mess it up.
literally wring it of
Yeah.
every ounce that we could get out of it because we knew we were getting older, first of all. We were told all the time how
Well,
old we
I
were.
mean, that was silly. I mean, we were we were
It was our fault.
27 pretending to be 22, and Gabby kept telling us how old we were, but meanwhile, she was older than us.
The
But
oldest.
remember, we weren't
I
allowed to
know.
be our ages, and
She's like,
she wasn't
"Christina, you're the
allowed.
oldest."
We
I was
weren't
like,
allowed to be younger than her, even though we
"Right."
were. We weren't allowed
I
to be.
know, I
But
know. I
we're
remember
pink,
going,
yeah.
"Wait, who volunteered you to be one of the younger ones? You're the oldest, bitch." But no, I think now we laugh about it. We're gonna have to have me, you, and Tal and Gabby on
Happy,
all
yeah,
together because we
yeah,
haven't like all four been together in a bit now ever since we did that
yeah.
reunion show. And well, I wanna end, if you will, with one
With a
thought
song.
with a
No, sorry.
song,
With a
"Heart
little
of
tap
my
dance.
heart, soul of my soul." Anyways,
Oh, it's still
no,
there.
but remember the I Just Wanted You to Know, my favorite part, I Just Wanted You to Know was when it went,
Hmm.
um, oh gosh, it's that, "I'm a letting you go, da-na-na-na, gonna let it show," because you
Hmm.
did that part, "ba-na-na-na, gonna let it
I can't even
show,
remember the lyrics
da-na-na-na."
anymore.
No, who knows them? But then I got to do my little I'm letting you, and I did the da 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 da. It did this like cool little
Oh,
da 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 da
you
da da.
have to
Oh,
play it for the
I
audience.
love
I'm letting you know I give my best. I make it show.
When I heard that song again, I cried because I, you go through, when you lose something that is so spectacular, you
mm,
go through moments of self-doubt and you go through moments of being, the imposter syndrome is brutal, right? That voice that says, maybe you weren't that great, and maybe,
mm.
maybe you
Oh,
were
yeah.
that lucky dancer, and
Oh,
maybe,
yeah.
but we were great and you were great. And that when I heard you sing that part of the song, I shed a tear because it was the moment where I was like, God damn it, we were good. They
We were
took it
great.
away from us. We did our job. We did our job tenfold. We did our job 110%.
We
And
did.
those buggers at that record label, all, not that I want to play the sexist thing, but all those guys, they knew that record label was folding. They probably got redundancy packages. As the artists, we didn't even know the record label was closing. We didn't
Right.
get any warning, any support.
Something is wrong.
I think they know something we don't know.
I'd like to know what they know.
We're about to be dropped by the label, I think.
Those guys did us wrong. They really did.
Yeah.
If you imagine your daughter in that position now, you would be livid. You
Yeah.
know, you would be
I'd be
livid.
kicking doors down and
Yeah,
choking people out because
yeah,
it was a dream of ours. And look, we did something that a select handful of people,
in the
selective
universe.
in the
Yeah,
world will
yeah.
ever experience being on a tour bus singing in front of blinding lights of 30,000
Hmm.
screaming people, signing autographs for hours at a time, feeling what it feels like to ride a wave and feel like you're invincible, and then also the feeling of it crashing down.
Mm,
And then having to rise like a phoenix from it and do what it is you're gonna do and
hmm.
whatever that means, whether dance studio, studio doctor, being a mom,
Right.
running, like Gabby, a salsa bachata school and
Hmm.
becoming a world champion dancer in the Latin field, and myself owning businesses and really trying to headway that in Tal, having a successful, academy for makeup artists. Like it's just interesting when you look at how we've all gone on to do something that was in our hearts.
Yeah.
Um, because for me, I look back and that's the question I wanted to end on with you is if you could tell someone, a young girl that you train girls and boys, but let's just
Hmm.
say a young girl like you in her early 20s wanting to live a dream, talented, well-rounded, knows what they want. What
Hmm.
would what would you say to them? What would be your advice that you would give
Okay.
them?
Yeah. So I mean, it's what we touched on earlier, the rebound. Your rebound is everything. And sometimes what we signify as the end result, what we signify as the symbol for being successful may actually not be delivered to us in the way that we expected. So, they always say future expectations or expectations are future resentments, right? It's my I guess my note to my younger self or to other dancers out there trying to make it in the industry is, you know, be authentic to who you are, work hard, do the work, be disciplined, do the work, and know that you're going to get knocked back 100 times before somebody says yes. Know that you are going to feel rejected more. You're going to hear the word no before, more times than you hear the word yes. But if that is your true desire and passion, follow your passion and don't give up on your passion. Work in your passion because if you're working in your passion, then you don't resent it
That's
as
right.
much.
I agree. I think that's great advice, especially for people, whether it can be any field, right?
Yeah,
It's anything, dancing, singing, my daughter doing animation, technical
yeah,
animation. It's any kind of craft, anything that you have your eye on the prize. And I think that's the one thing that separates the doers from
yeah.
the naysayers is
Hmm.
you have to do what you say you want to do. If you
Yeah,
don't, you won't accomplish it. And sometimes you will fail and you won't get what you want. And then you have
that's
to
it.
pivot and you reinvent. And I think that's where I'm at right now in my life. And I know you're always reinventing. You go into your dance studios and you invent new things for these children and these young adults and these adults. Every
Hmm.
day you're doing that in their lives and you're encouraging them to continue doing that in their own lives. And I think that's something that's needed more in society,
Yeah,
right? In general, of encouraging people, especially our young people, to put the work into something because it's not going to get handed to you. And if that's anything we've learned, we were lucky. There's luck involved, there is. But if you don't have the skill and the talent, you're dead on arrival. You're
yeah. Do
DOA,
the work.
right?
Do the
Do the
work,
work,
and don't take no for an answer. Like pivot.
right?
Let's go.
And maybe don't sit on the
Put
laps
your
anymore.
yeah. Don't do that. And put on your big girl knickers.
Yeah, big girl panties always need to be on.
Yeah,
And they can be cute, they can be
yeah.
frilly, or they can be grandma panties, or even just hot pants.
Just put them
But put
on.
them
Put your
on.
big girl pants on. Let's go.
And like I told
Cowgirl
Avery,
up.
I said, Avery, don't be a pussy. And
Yeah.
that's the truth. Because someone's gonna outdo you. Don't
Hmm.
be it. You gotta go for it and you go hard. And if anything, you and I are proof that you can get knocked down. You can live a dream, but you can also dream other dreams and conquer those as well. And I think we're
Hmm.
just getting started. So, Andy, I love you. You are my
I love
heart
you
and
too.
soul, and you have something that not a lot of people will ever get to say. They got to see me naked on a tour bus,
Joy.
and smoke some pot and laugh until we cried and almost peed our pants multiple times. And you saw me. I saw mold in your hair, and
Oh,
you kept me from going to jail. And we've lived 1,000 lives together. It feels so.
yeah.
You're a blessing always in my life. So thank you, and your
Thank
amazing family,
you.
your beautiful two daughters who are dancers
Oh,
in their own right. They're incredible dancers,
yeah.
and TJ is one of my funniest people. TJ should be have his own show, stand up. I mean, he's hilarious, and I just can't wait to continue to see what you guys conquer
Oh,
together. But I love you, and I'll definitely be having you back on if you'll have me.
I would love that. Thank you, and good luck to you with all of your future endeavors. You deserve everything, my love, and thanks for having me.
Wow. What a blast from the past. Do you know what I mean? Do you understand why this chick was my ride or die and continues to be? Like, Andy is the bomb, and I just miss her terribly because she lives in New York. Andy, meh, meh, meh. But it was so good having her on, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Listen, we're here, we're reinventing all the time. And as Annie just said, rebounding. Perfect word for all of this. I know you're going through it. I'm going through it. She's gone through it and continues to go through it. So here we go together, right? We're always reinventing. So keep on tuning in. Come in next week and let's talk. And do me a favor and email me at reinventingrumbly@gmail.com and give me some of your stories or ask some questions so we can read them online and let you know what we think. Make sure you subscribe and would love to see you back here next week. But as I always say, we're always reinventing. So come back, pull up a chair, have a cocktail, and let's reinvent together on this windy road of life.